Hi there everybody, this is Alex Ellis here, and I'll just put some more light on the scene. There we go. Put on the lamp. There we go. This is just a short tribute video. Afraid I've had a bit of bad news today. Somebody who I went to primary school with, Dan, I don't want to say his surname on YouTube, just out of respect, unfortunately passed away on Friday. The actual cause of death has not been publicised, but even if it had been, I don't want to go into details out of that, purely out of respect. But this is just a little tribute because I knew Dan. You know, he wasn't a close mate or anything. You know, he wasn't a close friend, but I did know him very well a number of years ago. We were in the same class at primary a number of times. When I first moved to New Zealand in 2007, I did one term in a year 3-4 class, and we were in the same class then. And then I think it was a couple of years later, in year 6, I think, we were in the same class together. And for a large portion of that year, we were sat next to each other because, you know, the teacher had a seating plan and he used to shuffle it, and a couple of times we were seated next to each other. So I got to know him quite well at the time. We had a sort of a love-hate friendly relationship. You know, we used to enjoy winding each other up quite a bit, have a bit of a laugh, bit of a joke. It was all friendly. You know, it was just a bit of casual winding each other up, bit of jokes. You know, but he was a good lad. We actually had a bit of trouble one day. In fact, I think the deputy principal was relief teaching us that day. He accidentally opened a door into my face, and I actually lost the corner of this front tooth here. You can't actually see that the corner of this front tooth is fake, because the tooth broke when he opened the door in my face. It was a complete accident. And we always laughed about it. I got payback on him I got payback on him because one day the teachers, during an afternoon PE lesson, they got us to play a big game of team tag. If you never played team tag at school, basically you were put into teams, and it was like a giant game of tag, but instead of having one person who's a tagger, you do team tag. So you get put into teams, and you have to try and tag people in the other team. It was sort of like that. And anyway, so we were playing team tag, and we ended up running straight into each other. You know, we had a head-on crash, and even though we were both very tall, I was maybe about that much taller than him. So he got me in the mouth, and then I got him in the eye, and I actually split his eyelid open. He had to have stitches, and then he came to school a couple of days later with a big eye patch on his eye. I think it was this eye, actually. I still remember it was this eye. And so that was a complete accident. I ended up with a fat lip. So that was an accident as well. And we laughed that off as well. You know, I do have fond memories of him. But after year 6, he left and went to intermediate school, whereas I carried on and did year 7 and 8 at the school I was already at, as did most people. That was the choice. Some people stayed and did year 7 and 8 at our school. Others left and went to intermediate. That was the way it was. And after that, I very rarely saw him after that. I know that he went to a school, to secondary school, just down to the one that's just down the road from me, to the private one down there. So I did, because he was a local lad. He lived around in my area, so I did know him. I mean, you know, I still saw him on the odd occasion, maybe 2, 3, 4 times a year. Just, you know, bumped into him, and you know, he was always pleasant to bump into him. You know, he was always such a nice young man. You know, he was always friendly. He was always nice. You know, he always liked to you know have a say hello and a chat. You know, he was always decent towards me and other people. You know, I mean, yes, we used to wind each other up back when we were year 6, but hey, you know, we were just kids. You know, and it was all friendly. You know, we never bore grudges about it. And you know, and since then we've both laughed about it. You know, so he will very much be missed. So my condolences to Dan's family and to his friends and to anyone else who knew him. Unfortunately, I can't make the funeral. So this is kind of my way of saying my bit, you know, because I mean, he wasn't, I'd say, a close friend, or at least certainly, particularly as I rarely saw him throughout the last 6 or 7 years, but I knew him, and and I've still been friends with him on Facebook. I'll always remember him as the guy I knew. A genuine, nice guy. Top bloke. He really was a nice guy. And he really will be missed. So yeah. So rest in peace, Dan.